Hello! Welcome to What We May Be, Lesson 5. I hope you're enjoying this philosophy in the art of living. In Lesson 4, we began looking at maps and mapping the internal parts of ourselves, the ego, the superego, transpersonal self. I want to remind you of a diagram we looked at. And today, as promised, I want to focus on just this inner part. This is being your subconscious, your higher conscious, your transpersonal self, kind of the realm of the brain that's most commonly understood and known. It's more conscious, but you're not conscious of everything all at once. And this circle is kind of more like your everyday living reality where you operate. And I want to zoom into that circle, and there's what we call the star diagram. There's what that looks like, the star diagram. But this picture is not particularly user-friendly for you to really absorb and learn everything I want to share. So I put together a nice colored diagram, and you can look at that instead of my face for the rest of the description of today's lesson. I want to thank you again for joining What We May Be, and we'll keep working through our book, but today we want to learn more about, it's called the star diagram, and it maps out your everyday awareness. This is a critical piece in the entire lesson series because the rest of it won't make much sense unless you really understand today's work. So take your time with it, enjoy it, and please email me with questions. Thank you. Create a great day. What you see in front of you is a diagram of psychological functions. There are 8 listed here, and this is based on a star diagram, a 6-pointed star, created by Roberto Assagioli, a founder of Psychosynthesis, transpersonal psychology, I should say. And it's his work that Piero Ferrucci based a book, What We May Be, on, and that's an exploration in the philosophy of the art of living. And today I want to talk about these 8 psychological functions and how they interact with our subpersonalities. So starting at the top circle, you see sensation, and then we're going to work around emotion, impulse, imagination, thought, and intuition. So there's 6 of the 8. In the very middle, you see a small one. I call it the chairperson of the committee in our head. And that's I, that's yourself, that's your core, that's your centered place, which if you can get to that place before you're making decisions, that's the goal of subpersonality work. And then all of those arrows say will. Will is, I call it the 8th psychological function. And will is a lot more effective when it's coming from the center, or I, when the chair is the one calling the shots. Unfortunately, in life, we have behavior patterns where we'll have an emotional reaction to something, and then pretty much emotion over there is calling the shots. And maybe in some of your subpersonality explorations, you have discovered a subpersonality that is very emotional or impulsive or imagination, or fits one or more of these. Sometimes some of these kind of morph together into one subpersonality. I want to walk you through a little example about how this can play out. Not too long ago, about a year ago, I moved pretty much halfway across the United States. And so in looking at that decision, let's walk through what would be the emotion of it. Hopeful, scary. You know, there's lots to think about there. Do you let go of the roots and people and family you have close by? Is it exciting to go on an adventure and make new friends? Impulse. Is this an impulsive decision to move? Who do I think I am moving across the country? I mean, who can upstart their lives like that? What about my family? Is this impulsive? But what is the impulse? I want to go. I'm raring to go. What does my imagination think of all this? It could be really wonderful. That could be a really amazing move. I wonder what the possibilities are. Anything could happen. What do I think about this move? Boy, how many of us really live in this thought world of thinking things through and using our logic? Well, does it make sense to move? Is it financially practical? All very good and important thoughts. What does my intuition tell me about this move? I have kind of a gut feeling like it could go well or go badly. and sensations. What sensations am I feeling in my body? Am I feeling anxiety? Do I get a stomach ache? Do I have a gut level feeling that's working with that intuition? So you kind of get a sense of how making a major life decision, you want to pull all those different pieces and parts of those psychological functions into play and hear from them. What are their opinions and thoughts about the decision you're trying to make? And in your everyday life, maybe you just got home from work or an event and you're trying to cook dinner and you burn your hand and there's this physical sensation that takes over. That's where 100% of your awareness is. And you're not necessarily thinking about emotions, impulses, imagination, thoughts, or intuitions. You're certainly not processing all of that from a chairperson point of view. In a similar way, if you just got in a fight with somebody you love and you're having this very emotional kind of reaction to it, it's really hard to pull yourself out of that emotion and get back into the center there of the chairperson, I, in order to think through the process of what's going on and try to see the other person's point of view and listen and hear from all the different parts of yourself that has feelings and thoughts and information to share with you. And so you may or may have not have identified some subpersonalities at this point, but try to plug them in here where they might fit if you have, and if you haven't, then just use these 6 sort of placeholders, the psychological functions, to work through an exercise. Grab yourself a sheet of paper and make yourself 6 sections on it, one for each of the circles around the outside, sensation, emotion, impulse, etc. And then ask yourself a life question. What do I sense about this? What do I feel or emote about this? What is the impulse that comes to mind? What in my imagination do I think can come of this? And what do I think about this? What does my intuition have to say about this? Then the very center of you, who is now disidentifying from the individual, you're not going to focus on just intuition or just sensation or just emotion. The chair, the one in the middle, can think about what all of them have to say. Make a choice and then use your will to move that choice forward. And experiment with this process a little bit. You might find it very revealing. Thanks for listening in on coordinating your subpersonalities today. And if you have any questions or comments, put those in the comments below the video or email me, and I'm happy to assist. So create a great week.